Hello there everyone, it's Carol here from the Crafty Emporium. If you watched the previous video, which was my blown away video with my racks, I've used my little suitcase, Jessica, for my M&Ms, which I've already started munching on. So thank you for those. Sat prominently in place, you see. Okay, I showed photos on group about a week and a half ago, I think it was, of this journal that I was commissioned to make for a lady in Australia. And sorry, I'm speaking with my mouth full now. Hang on, let me swallow it. Slurp of tea. Oh, that's better. So her remit was that she wanted it to be mostly peaches and to do with vintage ladies and children. So that's the theme of it. So this is the front cover. I don't know whether it'll show up very well on the video, but this here is a wallpaper that I've got, and it's got a little bit of a sheen to it, so it's really pretty. You might be able to see the colour better as well on the back. It's a real pretty deep rich cream with some peachy tones on it. Really nice. And then I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that this was an Artie Mays image. Then obviously I've added flowers and lace and other bits and pieces, and then I've found this deep rich peachy coloured ribbon that I've used as the closure for it. And then looking at it from the side, I've put as you can see, laces on it, and there's some little bulb pins with some little dangles on there too. And from the top, it's a 2 signature journal. So, oh, size. I always forget to mention what size I've made it. Hang on, get my ruler the right way around. Okay, so it measures 6 inches wide and just over 8.5 inches long. So on the inside cover, I've done, let me get centralised, I've done a Tim Holtz pocket here, and then I've added all sorts of bits of ephemera and tags and things in that pocket there. Excuse me. I've also used a variety of different kits throughout here as well. So it'll be like Andrea from Artie Mays. I've used some of her kits, which this page is one of hers. I've used some Calico Collage maybe, and Tsunami Rose, and maybe even Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I think I've used those for... Anyway, we'll see. If there's any others in here and I remember whose they are, I'll give them a shout out. But the first page is this one here from Artie Mays, and then there's lace on the edge there. And then on this one here, I've done some little envelopes that flip out so that she can add any little bits and pieces in here. She didn't actually want it as a writing journal. She wanted it to be one that you look at. And then I've added this image here. So this was an Ephemera's Vintage Garden as a tuck spot, so that she could tuck something in there. So I have left space for her to add some of her own things if she so wishes, or maybe write some notes in that she might want to add. But otherwise I've decorated it up as best as I can for her. So there's some stenciling on here. Then in this pocket I added one of the cabinet cards, and then on the back of there I added a photograph of this little girl. Now I'm not going to show you everything because I want a few things to be a surprise for this lady. This one I attached so that it now forms a pocket there as well, so that she could add some things in there. And I have done a little mini cluster on the bottom down here. On this next page I added a doily that I'd coffee dyed, and I've actually glued it down around the edges here so that there is a tuck spot in the top up there. So there are some journaling cards in there, and I did a napkin here. Again, did stenciling on those 3 parts there. did a little bit of napkin, a little bit of collaging with the bird and some words. And then on this page, I'll just try and tilt it so you can see, I did, this was the full page, and I printed it out twice, and I just cut out this flower, which now acts as a tuck spot. So if you actually have a look underneath, you can see the flower underneath there. And so that sits in there, and then there's a journaling card at the top there to pull out. This one I did as an oval belly band. I added the little girl's crochet flower and a button, and then this card then pulls out from underneath there. So again, if she has got any pictures of her own that she wants to add, she can do. Little mini notes page with some stenciling, some border punching on the edge of this page here. This is the centre of the first signature, and the middle page I added as pockets, so I stitched it at the top and at the bottom and added some lace on. And then you may remember that I did some basic decorated envelopes so that then I could add to them at a later date. So I've used 2 of those, so I've just added the lady on this one, and then there's some journaling cards in there. And then on this envelope again, I just added the Tim Holtz dolls on, paper dolls on here, and again added something in that pocket there, and some stenciling here. Now this one, let me just see if I've got, what can I use? Oh, I know, just use my baby wipes. Prop that one up if I can, because I need it to be flat for you to see what it is that I've actually done here. So I've made a belly band here, and there's a big tag behind it, little stopper at the bottom to prevent it from falling out. Now I've done this bit as a slider so that you can slide this across, so then it partially opens up here and then it opens out there. And because this only partially opens, it's now formed a little bit of a pocket. So I've just sat a little journaling card inside that pocket area there. So then that closes up, that one sits on top, and then the little girl and boy just slide across to keep it closed. Here I did some pockets and added another cabinet card photograph, cabinet card back, and put some items in there. And then that flips open to reveal this side, which has got another pocket, and it's got something in the top, something in the pocket there, and then did some stenciling. Added some silk fabric on the edge there, some peachy coloured silk fabric. This is the other side of the doily, and again attached it in the same way, in that it's just stuck down partially, so then you've got this tuck spot in the corner, and then there's another little tuck spot here. This one I cut out and made that into a tuck spot there, so added a cabinet card there. On this one I added a cabinet card, and this was a really long pocket, so that if I pull out, if it'll come on. So there's a card in there, in that pocket, but then I added the pocket so that it became a tuck spot, and then on the front of the pocket I added some lace and a little charm and just tucked a little mini tag, or a long thin tag, onto the front of the pocket there. This is another one of the, or the other side of the calico, Artie May's page with the 2 ladies on. So I've added a crochet doily, some leaves and flowers, but I printed the page twice and cut the lady out and just partially stuck her on, so that there is something secretly tucked inside of that pocket there. Onto the second signature. So I added a glassine bag here, and so I attached the glassine bag so that it's glued around 3 sides, so that it forms a pocket behind the glassine bag itself, and there's an extra long tag in there. Then in the pocket itself I made another card, again with a photograph of a little girl, and added a partial doily across the top there for decoration and for ease of being able to pull it out. On front of the glassine bag I added this piece of paper which forms another pocket, but it also lifts up with some writing paper in there so that you can write on that, and then behind that pocket itself there are some more tags there and some bits on the back of the tags as well. Some more stenciling, and then I added a piece of lace on top of this page here of these two lovely ladies. Little tuck spot there with a little things to do card. Did a double lot of stenciling here on this shorter page and sort of did it over onto the main page, but it means then that when you lift it up the pattern is then continuous on the page underneath it. Here I added this lady and some upholstery fringing across the bottom there, so if you wiggle it wiggle it just a little bit, you got a little bit of a shimmy going on with the fringing there. That was one of the prepped clusters and prepped flowers, and I've just added the two together to make a cluster on the bottom of this pocket, and there is place for a tag in the top there. This is another glassine bag that I've added on sideways and did a little journaling card in there. I glued part of the glassine bag to the actual background page itself so that we've got a pocket there. This is washi tape that I've run round to form a border so that if she's got a picture that she wants to add herself then she can do in there. And then that flips over to reveal this pocket, and I've put another envelope in there and did some stenciling down the page here, but that's a little tip-in page, so it's added on to the original signature. Here I did a really long pocket, and I'm not going to undo it, but this is the bottom, which is what flips up, and then there's something inside of the pocket, and then underneath that is a circular journaling card underneath there. Did tracing paper. I then cut out these ladies and added them in such a way that that now forms a tuck spot in there, and did some stenciling around the corner of the top corner of the page. In this one I had this paper that I've folded to make a little mini envelope, and there are some journaling cards in there, and then behind that I've added more of the cabinet cards with vintage photographs on. This is a page from another one of the Artie Maze kits, and again I printed it out twice and cut out this lady, and I used my micropore tape to add her on here so that this forms a hinge and flips open so that she's got a writing space over here if she wants to do any writing. Here I made one of the bookmarks that I've recently done a video on, so it's magnetised so that that flips up and then it's holding on to this journaling card here. So that sits there, and then on the other side this is now the centre of the signature, so this, as I say, it flips up because it's magnetised, and it's holding down this flap of the page which has got a pocket in it there, so that holds that pocket in place as well as holding this journaling card in position as well. I did a perfume bottle there, and then we've got a pocket on this side with some journaling cards inside of there. Another little tuck spot, so it's just got a little journaling card in there. Postcard. I did an envelope on the front so she can put a couple of little bits in there, and then I've put some photographs, journaling card and an envelope inside of that pocket. On this one I did a little like miniature booklet so that you can open that out and write inside of there, but I added the back page of the little mini booklet as though it's a pocket, so there's also a tuck spot there as well with a tag in it. Added a little Tim Holtz paper doll there with some words on it and some stenciling. And let me just get rid of those baby wipes now. And then on this page I did a Rita Donnelly double flip, corner pocket, and again did some stenciling on the page and added a picture and a double tag little booklet card there. The other side of the tracing paper. This one I did as a flip up, so that you flip it up there and it's got some writing paper underneath there if she wants to write on there. Stenciling again, punched edged paper, added a card on there that now acts as a tuck spot for some general cards. And then this one was another page that I've done as a tip in, so it means it's a page that's added extra on top of the signature that's already in place. So that flips open and it reveals an envelope and a journaling card on that side. Some more stenciling, little card, another little tuck spot there, which also forms a little booklet with some writing papers in. And then there's this beautiful image of this little girl here. I added this little girl, and I don't know whether you can see, but her feet are hanging off the edge of the page, because that's what we used to do, wasn't it? We used to sit on the wall and let your legs dangle. So I put her on there, and then I've inserted some tags in there and done some stenciling across the top. And then on the last page I've added some journaling cards which you can spin around because they've been added with a brad. So they're on that page, and then on the back cover there's a pocket, and this lady here I've done some what's it called? Glossy accents and I always forget the name of this stuff. Stickles. That was what I did. So I've added some stickles and some glossy accents on a hat to accentuate the flowers. Put some little crochet flowers on and some little leaves, and then there's some tags in there as well. And so that's the back then of the journal itself. So thank you very much for watching. This is going off to its new mommy next week, so I hope she enjoys looking through it and using it. And thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in some more videos very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.